Rebels, welcome back to another video. Today I'm making a video on some chatting tips and like a simple guide for OF and FanView. I do want to say I do have way more in-depth information about chatting in our private group, but this is basically like so all you need to sort of start. So first of all, the three options really that I'd say actually work right now is chatting yourself, hiring VAs, and chatting agencies. Some people might be curious and think, is AI chatting worth it? In my opinion, it's not. I don't think AI is good enough yet to, replace VAs. Possibly some chatting agencies, depending if they're good or not. For one main reason, that's because AI doesn't feel emotions, right? A human can tell what a person might feel like by the way they're saying something. You can build a relationship with a person, right? Even if you're a chatter, you're gonna build relationships with people, and you're gonna remember what people speak like. If they speak differently, that might show you that they're upset or angry, whatever. Whereas an AI can't really tell that, right? So yeah, that's the main reason. But anyway, first of all, I'll talk about hiring chatters, like VAs. So the places to hire them is Online Jobs, PH, Upwork, or Telegram groups such as OFM Jobs. There's obviously a lot more. I've got my own one as well. But these are the main places that are the most popular. So you basically just make a message. For example, if you're doing OFM Jobs, you just make a message. You can even copy someone else's. But you basically just make a message saying, hiring chatters, DM me. And people start DMing you. And you create a form with some questions. Most popular, obviously you can add your own if you want, but the main questions are obviously just ask for their name, the Telegram username, an English test is very important to make sure they can actually speak English well. A Wi-Fi speed test. Again, this is obviously important for them to have at least okay internet. Otherwise, they're going to be slow, not replying to people fast, stuff like that. And obviously a typing speed test, so to make sure that they can type fast. If they're very slow at typing, again, that's just going to slow them down, make them not work as good. And work experience. So for chatting, I don't think it really matters if they have like a lot of experience. I think they should have a basic knowledge of like what the job is. But sometimes it's better for them not to have experience because they might, remember someone else's method and they might copy theirs and it might not be good. So then, you're gonna have to like basically try to make them learn something completely different. But then they'll remember someone else's method and it will confuse them. But yeah, how many hours they can work and when. Obviously, this is so that you can sort of build a team. So that maybe you're gonna have one person starting their shift at 2 p.m. for 8 hours. So then you're gonna want someone else to start another 8 hour shift after that, right? So yeah. So once you have some people answering these questions, you obviously want to pick the best ones, the ones that stand out. Maybe just from talking to them. In my opinion, the form doesn't always show who's the best. Sometimes it's best to just talk to them a little bit, just see if they actually motivated, if they actually know what they're doing, stuff like that. And just pick the ones that you think have a better chance of actually, making this work. So, training. So training does take a while. Part of the training that we do, which I don't really talk, I'm not gonna talk about too much on this YouTube video here, but part of the training that we do is basically monitoring them on Discord. So this is the part of the training that does take a while, and it's not easy, simply because you have to set them on Discord for multiple hours, where they screen share and you screen share the chats, and you basically tell them what to do. Then they'll try to chat by themselves, and you tell them if it's good or bad, and you tell them what to fix or what was good. And you basically do that for like literally a week or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Basically until you're certain that they can handle it with them by themselves. But yeah, so you need to choose Chang style, which I'll talk about in depth in a second. But you want to choose Chang style for each model and for what your chatters are gonna obviously wanna sort of learn from. And you want to create videos of chatting, basically showing what type of sales were good, what type of sales are bad, what you shouldn't do, what you should do in your chat, stuff like that. So if you're new and have traffic, you can use an agency, a chat agency like I was talking about earlier. You can learn from how they chat, they do well, and use their sales as videos to showcase, what can be good, what can be bad, stuff like that. Now I will say before I carry on, is with chat agencies, there are some good, there are some bad. If you are looking for one, you can DM me. My friend has one that I can recommend. But just be careful. There are some chat agencies out of that, in my opinion. It's not that they're a scam. It's sort of impossible for a chat agency to scam you, but it's just really bad, and they can mess up your account. So yeah. Anyway, next, teach chatters that they need to build rapport on the subscribers, like when they work, when they get paid, their lifestyle, family, all their hobbies, all of that. Basically, just to build information about the fans, so that you guys have something to speak about, and so that there's more of a connection, right? Like I put here, don't rush your sales. Build a relationship first. And when the time is right, or the fan is horny, something like that, then you can try to sell. But it's way more important to just, first make the fan feel like the model actually appreciates them and remembers them. And then the subscriber will be more, feeling okay with spending money on them, basically. And yeah, so the two main Chang styles, obviously you can do, but the two Chang styles, first of all, aggressive, works well if you're getting lots of traffic, and it works well in certain niches like dominant, stuff like that. But a lot of fans don't like this because it seems more like a money grab. So yeah, like I said, aggressive can be good because this is basically where you're more pushy with sales. Obviously, you still talk to them a little bit. You still ask them some questions about something to build some sort of relationship, but you're more pushy and trying to flirt with them straight away to get them to spend within the first few hours of them subscribing. And like I said, if you're getting a huge amount of traffic, this is probably going to be the better option for you. Simply because if you're getting thousands of subs daily and you're trying to build relationships, that's not easy. And obviously depends what niche you're in. If you're in like a dominant niche and you're acting like you're forcing them to spend money, calling them a loser, whatever, then some subs will actually like that and then they will spend. But in most cases, in my opinion, relationship building will make you more money. You can still make a lot with a little amount of subs as well. So it can take a little bit longer to make money when at first, but when subscribers fall in love, so feel close to the model, like I was talking about earlier, they'll start spending more. Or if they get horny, it'll be easier to sell as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Overall, as a style, I'd recommend this bottom one here. But obviously, you can test your own stuff out, see what works for you, and yeah. But other than that, I've got more in-depth information in a private group. If you guys want to join that, DM me on Telegram. I'll leave a link in the description. And yeah, see you guys later.